Alright, so I amusingly called this the Yuri audio saved your old Natsuki route commentary. So there was I just had to fix that. Anyways, last old route, Natsuki route outline. Alright, so of course we have our usual festival day scene. Then you have the usual festival shenanigan scene. It was cheesy. A prickly flower and an unfazed bee dance around the festival. Natsuki's obviously the flower, and the MC by this point has understood Natsuki's tsundere routine, and so she's like, yeah, ever. Also, I'm gonna acknowledge that my pronunciations are probably off base. I think it would be what Nasuki, not Natsuki. Nasuki, yeah, because I am adding that extra T sound, Natsuki, so it would be Nasuki. I believe so. Anyways, I'm still shaky on my Japanese, so I've probably been pronounced what would be Yuri, not Yuri, because you have that yur. That's not how it should be pronounced. It should be Yuri or Yuri, right? I don't know. Uh, I still have to. My Japanese isn't exactly the best, so whatever. Anyways, so it will also be like what Sayuri, not Sayori, because I'm adding those extra R sounds. Anyways, just an average day, another day at the club. Yeah. Uh, Bounty pays to shop around. So this is where we start the plot. Foreshadow Natsuki's later situation by having her show MC the lowest prices for places and highlight the absence of a mother in her life. Um, so that was, they were shopping around, um, and maybe have a scene where MC talks about, the mom. It's like, oh, your mom teach you how to make cupcakes, and Natsuki's like, no. The small things like that. Not a waste. It's not a waste if it brings a smile to her face. They were gonna make cupcakes or something at MC's house. He spills a bit of flour, and Natsuki gets really mad because, oh, you're like, stop wasting it, you idiot. But at the end of the day, he brings a smile to her face. So a little bit of flour, it's not that much of a waste. The split. Maybe it's best if he doesn't get the wrong idea. This is where Natsuki's dad starts to show up. And so you and Natsuki kind of keep your distance so he doesn't get the wrong idea. Scar tissue. She doesn't know who to trust, but he'll always be there. And he is referring to the MC here. Natsuki is she's not sure if she should open up to you, the MC, but even if she doesn't trust you, you're still going to be there for her right here. That led right into distance. She always keeps her guard up, so I'll be right outside her wall. Whenever she's ready, I will be here. I'll be here for her. And that leads directly into collapse. When the walls fall down, the first thing she'll see is him. And Natsuki opens up to the MC, asking him, kind of like, why aren't you going away? I'm acting like a piece of crap towards you. And, oh, I've completely forgotten to... Did I? Oh, okay, no. Sorry, I just noticed that my screen was black on OBS. I thought it wasn't recording this. If not, I'll have to take a screenshot and just pretend that I had it there. Anyways, yes. MC saying like, yeah, because Natsuki was supposed to get all prickly and be, try to push the MC away from her, because she figures like, okay, well, it's not that, it's just that he's getting distant from me, but the MC isn't having any of it, and so she breaks down like, why aren't you going away? I'm acting like a piece of crap towards you. He tries to do that whole, oh, I want to be that person you trust, and then just cuts the crap and says it's because I like you. And this leads into Glued Together. For one day, she just like to forget about all the bad things. This is one of those cute date scene ones. Oops, sorry about that right there. Where you go to a movie or you go out somewhere and you just have some fun. You're trying to make her forget about all this crap she has going on in her life, um, and just give her a smile. And then the offer he can't refuse. Dad shows up to your door one day, sees him as a potential he sees you as a potential mediator. You're close to his daughter, so all right. Sins of the father, the weight hell, truly they are heavy. This was going to be kind of the flashback chapter, how we got here. Natsuki's dad and mom used to have a pretty good relationship. They had the kid. Things maybe turned sour after a while. And then, he Natsuki's mom was supposed to be kind of a bitch. Um, and so essentially, after they divorced, she went in and essentially tried to ruin his career. He kind of resigned due to pressure, even though it was just allegations. He didn't like coming into the office. Had to slip away, but he had custody of her. So now instead of living their like decent lifestyle, they're living this like poor day-to-day lifestyle. And then he's working multiple jobs, just trying to provide for her, get her day-to-day, denying himself anything he wants because it's like he has to provide for her, and he really loves his daughter. That was something I wanted. This is because I know everyone is very quick to hop on I want to beat not her dad up. I want to do all this. Well, I wanted to do something where I was going to turn him into like not necessarily a tragic figure, but just like someone who's been through a lot of crap. And then one night he kind of lost his patience, or maybe he was really tired. He doesn't even remember the incident anymore because he doesn't really want to remember it. But he ends up hitting Natsuki once. Maybe he came home and it was an accident that he hit her. Or maybe one night he just got so annoyed with all the multiple jobs piling up, the stress, his wife constantly looking for him still to take her daughter back from him as kind of just like a finishing move almost. It got to him, and one night he snapped, and then it ruined the trust because that's all it takes. All it took was one incident, and there was a rift permanently between Natsuki and her dad. And so, yeah, the dad opens up to you and is like, he really wants to reconnect with her. And so he sees you, the MC, as his way of doing it. That leads into weight. At least it's just distributed evenly. You share the secret. He has the secret. But then, of course, Natsuki finds out and doesn't trust you anymore. And this was this was her secondary plot line. You have the relationship with the MC, and then you have Natsuki's trust, her trust issues, as the secondary plot line running parallel to it. Maybe subterfuge wasn't the best option. So she doesn't trust you. You've gone behind her back, but just like her dad, you're going to be there. Once again, she keeps her guard up, so I will wait here for her. Then Broken Bridges, an old threat returns. Natsuki's mom comes back, and she wants Natsuki to come with her. She meets the MC, does the whole smiling face thing, like, oh, he's such a good kid, is this your boyfriend routine? But the MC sees right through her saturating smile and just gets a really bad feeling about her. Weigh anchor, yes. All she has to do is leave. So Natsuki's there in the hotel room. She's wondering, like, I could have such a nice life with the mom she's wanted to reconnect with. So much. Why isn't she leaving? She has everything that she wants. She's not living in her poor situation anymore. She's with someone she's fairly sure loves her. There's so much. This is kind of not Natsuki is. While they know that they kind of like each other, she and the MC, I think this is going to be sort of that love epiphany scene where she realizes, he's gonna be gone if I leave. But then it also starts going into like her dad. She's like, she starts doubting everything that she's done because if she leaves, she's leaving a lot for good, and so she has to really think about it. That leads into Gilded Cage. Her love feels cold. Where has the warmth of that embrace gone? And, as Natsuki's mom tries to convince her to come with her again, she's thinking, this doesn't feel like the warm embrace that I knew before. Something's different. Something's wrong. And this is where she just keeps being conflicted again and again and again. And so she's trying to think, what should I do? What should I do? And then you have mosaics. You go to the dad. You appeal to his love for his daughter, and you have a heart to heart. This is supposed to be that cheesy scene, like, yeah, you're supposed to tell me you're gonna beat my face in with a shovel. With that, I have to beat you up. I have to win in a fist fight against you if I want to date your daughter. This isn't fit with my high school life at all. So let's go get your daughter back. You're supposed to tell me you'll never hand her over to me. It was going to be cheesy. It was supposed to be comedic. It was supposed to, all this drama was supposed to make it a little more humorous again and, bring it up to that triumphant moment into the scene where it's storming the gates. Natsuki tries to leave her mom's grasp. She's like, I can't, I don't feel something's changed. Like, you've changed, Mom, and it's implied. Like the scene was going to cut off right before she says it was supposed to be ambiguous whether or not she said that she loves her dad or she loves MC. But essentially, yes. And then as you're running into the city, you call a literature club. You call in your friends. This was supposed to be, or how Yuri had the club scene where the club comes together against her tormentor. Sayori had that scene where where the club helps her realize her selfishness. This was supposed to be Natsuki's equivalent scene. The club comes together. They're there with the MC. They're leading the confrontation. Like, Natsuki's trying to leave her mom. The club gets to the city first and is like helping Natsuki trying to get away. Then her dad and MC show up, and Natsuki goes over to them. There's this big confrontation in the city streets, but really it looks like Natsuki's mom is the bad guy because she's there yelling, but like there's four high school kids protecting this one, and the man's protecting another. So she just looks like the bad guy, and she leaves. She's like, I'm gonna return, blah blah blah. And that leads into Split Divide. Natsuki made her choice, but this gap between her, the MC, and her dad is still kind of there. Less her and MC, but definitely between her and her dad. So the man in the middle. She trusts you. You were there for her. You came to her rescue, but she can't trust her dad. But you're going to help. And then there's Fear and Trembling, because it's no secret that I'm a fan of existentialism in terms of philosophy. And as a theme. So obviously, yes, this was me sneaking it in here. She's afraid that, is it just a one-time thing, Dad? When you hit me that night, is it going to happen again? And so she's scared. Her trust isn't overcoming her fear. And so you get to make this little final choice. So it's always fine to want to be safe, and it's okay to let your guard down. This is it. This is a big trust decision. The first one, obviously, is not trusting. You say it's okay if you want to be safe all the time. And so that leads into the neutral end of distance, of eternal distance. Natsuki keeps her guard up with her dad and never quite reconciles with him. But, she still chooses him over her mother. She grows up with the MC. They open up a bakery. Her dad gets his job back, because this was supposed to be something that was made explicit in the good end. Essentially, Natsuki's mom, her display made her lose social standing. Her boss was like, they managed to broke her icy hold over people. Her dad's old boss was like, hey, I can't offer you the same position, but you can come back. You can work your way up. And so, yeah, and then it would go several years later. This was a update I had with some friends when I was talking yesterday. They get on with their lives. Natsuki never really just reconnects with him. in the original there was like, oh, he starves himself out of guilt and dies, but I felt that was extreme. But I think a more crushing scene would be, you're just walking along the street, and MC pauses and is like, "Hey, don't we know that guy?" And it's clearly Natsuki's dad. He looks better. He's clean shaven. He's in a suit and everything. He doesn't look, and he's going into like a nice apartment building, and Natsuki is kind of like, "No, MC, we don't know anyone. Let's keep going." But it's very evident in her voice that she knows who that is, but she wants to reconnect, but her trust never quite got there because you said it's always fine if you want to be safe. And so, there it is again, that whole you're so close but so far. There's just something missing and it's gonna gnaw at you. I like that feeling. Especially for Natsuki and Yuri. For Sayori, I definitely think it was better to go with the gut punch. You want to save her from herself, or you want to save her from depression, but you failed. No, this is bam. You failed, and you're gonna pay the price for your failure. And then good end, family. You start to open up. MC prods her, acts as a morale booster. It takes a few months, but they eventually start talking again. They go through high school. MC and Natsuki decide to open up a cupcake shop out of the house. Natsuki's dad gets a morale boost, seeing her daughter go up again, and then his old boss calls, offer his job back, or like, can't offer the same job back, but his mom took a spill, he's no longer under her claw. But they're back as a family, and that's where the good end happened. Yeah. And so that's what I had to do for the Natsuki route. I thought trust was a good theme for her. And it ties well into the MC's relationship with her. I think definitely the MC's relationship was not as much of a focus in this one. But it was definitely an element, because it played on your relationship with her, that she trusts you. You're in the relationship, so she's trusting you, but then you go behind her back and she loses her trust in you and all of that stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll try to respond to everyone. Like I said, I really love talking about my story ideas. I like hammering things out. What can I do better? Did I misunderstand a character somewhere down the road? It's all fun to think about and talk about. That's why I really love fan fiction. Playing in someone else's sandbox. That's always the imagery I like to play with it. I like to give it. You don't always have to build your own sandbox. It's always fun to go play in someone else's, because sometimes they've got really good sand for building, right? But they built a castle. Well, you can build a castle too, but your castle might look a little different. And starting out, you're not used to their sand. Maybe your castle looks like crap, but then as you keep playing in their sandbox, you understand more and more and more and more, and so you can eventually build a nice castle. It might not stand up to theirs, but it could definitely do something nice. So that was all 3 of the old routes. That concludes the series, so I hope you guys enjoy. I might do some more. I might make a video on my process for writing fanfiction, or why I like fanfiction. Might talk about some of my old stories. Tell me what you guys would like to see more of, and I'll see if I can accommodate you. Alright, signing off for now.